going on, everybody? It's Turquoise coming at you with a brand new video. So if you keep up with my channel, you'll know that I am an avid fan of the Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc / Bird Up strategy, and I posted a very recent deck profile in which I showcased a list of the deck, in which I took first place at a case tournament. I went basically undefeated aside from a draw that I would have won, and I was very content with my list and how I played. I noticed, however, that a lot of people in the comments were actually asking for a combo video. Typically at the end of my deck profiles, if it's like a normal deck profile, I do a combo tutorial, especially if I haven't done that deck before on the channel, or if there's a new combo after a new list or a new support or something like that. But I decided not to do it for that specific deck profile because it was more just showcasing exactly what I did with the deck, or what deck that I used, I'm sorry, and how well I did. And I already have combo tutorials technically up in the last couple of deck profiles for the deck. However, I understand that a lot of you probably don't want to jump between 3 different videos, and I am happy that you guys reached out, because today I will be bringing you some combos that you definitely need to know to play this particular kind of bird up strategy. So before we get into this, keep in mind that this is not going to be a deck profile or a deck list, nor will I be discussing any specific reasons why I have certain cards in here or anything like that. If you would like to see that, I highly recommend that in order for all of this to make sense, please check out the deck profile that this is the deck for. It will be up in the top right in the annotation. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into the 3 Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc combos that you need to know for the August 2022 format. Alright, so starting off, I want to showcase basically the bread and butter combo of the deck, the one you're going to be aiming for the most, and that requires Turquoise Warbler, and then any way to access Cobalt Sparrow or Celestine Wagtail. So this can be Bird Call, Cobalt, Celestine, Fraktall, Tanky, Foolish. Basically, as long as you can get this, like the Turquoise, and then either Cobalt or Celestine in hand or grave, then you're basically set. Sorry about the lighting, by the way. I am trying new lighting angles and everything, and I'm trying to experiment with my camera lighting and everything a bit more, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Also, you will need at least 1 other card in hand, so I just have 3 random hand traps off to the side because some of them we will need our entire hand for. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, you're going to want to special your Turquoise Warbler because you control no monsters, and then activate her effect, special summoning the Cobalt or Celestine from your hand or grave. So keep in mind that Cobalt is usually the safer way to go, in my opinion, because while it doesn't give you the additional Appaloosa Negate at the end of your combo like Celestine would, it is still a free targeting protection on your recital, so it's a lot harder to get hand trapped by something like Valor or Imperm. On summon, we get to use the effect of Cobalt Sparrow to add a level 1 Wing Beast from deck to hand. So it doesn't really matter too much what order you add them in, but you're going to be adding both Sapphire and Nervall at some point in the combo. But I like to start with the Nervall just in case, as if you get hand trapped on your recital, it's the much safer option. I'm then going to take the Cobalt and the Turquoise and overlay them for the Xyz summon of our Lyrilusc Recital Starling. We are then going to use the effect of Recital Starling, detaching the Turquoise Warbler to search for another level 1 Wing Beast, this time being the Sapphire Swallow. We can now activate the effect of Sapphire. Because we control a Winged Beast, we can special her and another level 1 Winged Beast from hand, being the Tri-Brigade Nervall. Alright, there we go. I tried to fix the glare problem a little bit, sorry about that. But as we are continuing, we are going to use our Sapphire Swallow and our Recital Starling for the Link summon of our Farigit the Barren Blossom. We are now going to activate the effect of our Nervall, banishing all 4 of our Lyriluscs in our graveyard to summon our Tri-Brigade Shurg the Ominous Omen. Why do you do this instead of going into Bearbrum, you may ask? Well, it's so that you can link the Nervall and the Shurg into a Bearbrum. Oh, the mat is starting to pick up and catch to the cards. But we're going to use them to go into our Bearbrum the hard way, which will allow us to trigger both the effect of Nervall and the effect of Shurg to search for not only a Tri-Brigade monster, but also any level 4 or lower Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast. Off of the Shurg, we are going to add our Fabled Cerberell, and off of the Nervall, we are going to add our Tri-Brigade Karis. We can activate the effect of Tri-Brigade Karis, discarding the Fabled Cerberell in order to special itself, and then in a new chain, the Fabled Cerberell will trigger a mandatory activation to special itself from grave because it was discarded. We can now activate Karis, banishing 2 from our graveyard, being both the Nervall and the Shurg, in order to summon our Ancient Warrior's Oath Double Dragon Lords, And now we can use our Fabled Cerberus and our Karis, a tuner and non-tuner level 2 respectively, for our Herald of the Arclight. We are then going to end off our combo by linking our Farragut and our Bearbrum for an Appaloosa with 2 materials, triggering the effect of Bearbrum, optionally using Farragut as well, to add a Tri-Brigade Revolt, putting any card from our hand onto the bottom of the deck, setting anything we may need, and passing our turn. So off of one of those many 2-card combinations that I described, you can basically guarantee 2 negates on an Appaloosa, a bounce off of double Dragon Lords, an Omni Negate plus Floodgate, which does protect you from Droplet in the form of the Arclight, and a both non-targeting banish off of the Revolt, and a 3k body on board, plus the search of a Fraktall on the opponent's turn when we use the materials such as the Nervall. So now, as a sort of extension of the main combo, I am backing up a little bit just to show what you can do with the Celestine instead of the Turquoise, because a lot of people are probably tempted to make the exact same end board there and do the exact same steps. However, you can actually get an extra material on your Appaloosa if you get the Celestine in hand instead. So to showcase that, I'm going to special the Turquoise Warbler, specialing the Celestine Wagtail, and using the effect of Celestine Wagtail to add a Lyrilusc Bird Call. We're now going to basically continue the steps that we would do in our normal combo, going into our Recital Starling, using the effect of Recital Starling, and instead of grabbing the Nervall here, we're actually going to grab a Lyrilusc Cobalt Sparrow. We can now activate the Lyrilusc Bird Call, using its effect to add a Lyrilusc Sapphire Swallow. Gonna skip ahead a little bit. And then Bird Call will actually allow us to special summon the Lyrilusc Cobalt Sparrow to our side of the field. In a new chain, we can activate the effect of Cobalt Sparrow, which will then search our Tri-Brigade Nervall. And now we can continue to go into our full combo. However, this time we will actually have the Cobalt Sparrow still left on board, which can end up as a 3rd material on the Appaloosa. Now, what if I told you that Fraktall plus any Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast was practically full combo? Now, what if I told you that depending on the rest of your hand, you can not only get full combo, but an additional 2 bounces on top of that, for a total of 7 disruptions and up to 2 cards follow-up? Don't believe me? Well, you're going to go ahead and find out. So all you will need for the first part of this combo is Fraktall and any Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast, as long as it isn't the Fabled Cerberus. Technically, you could use Cerberus, however, it would prevent us from going into the other parts of the combo that I will describe in a minute, and so I'm going to completely ignore its existence. So how do we start this combo, you may ask? Well, it's as simple as just activating the effect of Fraktall, sending it from hand to grave, in order to go into a very typical Tri-Brigade line. Keep in mind that until we get to the very end, this will actually not utilize any Lyriluscs, so this is really good in case you're backed up on only Tri-Brigades. So we're going to use the Fraktall to dump a Kit to dump a Nervall, and Nervall to search a Karis. Very simple here, we're going to activate the effect of Karis, discarding the DD Crow to special itself to the side of the field. We can now activate the effect of Karis, banishing all 4 to, you guessed it, go into our Shurug the Ominous Omen. From there, we're going to link our Shurug and our Karis in order to hard make our Bearbrum the Rampant Rampager, using the effect of Shurug on send to add a Fabled Cerberus from our deck to our hand. We're now going to be able to activate the effect of our Bearbrum, pitching the Cerberus and any card in your hand, targeting your Tri-Brigade Kit to special her to your side of the field. We can now trigger the effect of Fabled Cerberus as a mandatory to special itself back, and now that we have the stuff in grave, we can activate the Tri-Brigade Kit, banishing the Karis and the Shurug from the grave to go into our Tri-Brigade Farragut. From here, it's as easy as turning Kit and Cerberus into a Herald of the Arclight, and then 9 times out of 10, you're able to just use your Bearbrum and your Farragut to go into your Appaloosa for 2, grabbing your Revolt from deck, leaving you with 4 disruptions and the Fraktall follow-up with at least 1 card in hand. But, depending on what is in your hand, you can actually get full combo or better. So what you can do is, if you have any Tri-Brigade that is Fraktall or Nervall in your hand on top of that combo, you can either use the effect of Farragut or normal summon the Tri-Brigade, because keep in mind, for any of these combos, we don't actually need the Farragut special or the normal summon, meaning that it's very easy to extend through hand traps. but as long as we can get it on board, we can activate the effect banishing the Kit and the Cerberell to get our Ancient Warriors of Double Dragon Lords, and then we'll actually have a 3 material Appaloosa, and then we have to put the last card in our hand back, granted. However, it is a small sacrifice to pay for a whopping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 disruptions on your board plus follow-up. However, that's not even the strongest you can do, so we're going to back up a little bit. I'm going to put this Nervall back in my deck. We're just going to have an Imperm or something, it doesn't matter. But in order to access the best possible end board that you can get that isn't based on a freeform improvisation off of select cards in your hand, you have to have that full combo plus a Cobalt Sparrow or a Bird Call, which is actually very easy to get. So why is this really strong, you may ask? Well, simply because you can activate the effect of Fairjit, special summoning the Cobalt Sparrow from your hand. You can then use the effect of the Cobalt Sparrow to add your Tri-Brigade Nervall from your deck to your hand. You can now normal summon your Tri-Brigade Nervall, activating the effect banishing the Kit and the Cerberell to summon your Double Dragon Lords, and you could in theory make a format Appaloosa here, but I like to actually spread my disruptions a bit more thinly across multiple options rather than just stacking them all up and dying to something like a Chalice. And so I'm actually going to take the Nervall and the Cobalt Sparrow, and I'm going to turn them into a Lyrilusc Ensemble Robin. So this will actually not only give us 2 bounces, that also puts the Nervall in grave in case a Revolt fizzles, but it also gets protection from targeting from the Cobalt, meaning that they can't use something like Chalice against it if they wanted to. Finally, we'll wrap up the combo like we would have done in the first place, using our Fairjit and our Bearbrum to go into our Appaloosa, of course using the Bearbrum to add our Tri-Brigade Revolt, putting the last card in our hand on the bottom of the deck, and you are ending off with 7 disruptions. You have 2 negates on an Appaloosa, 1 bounce off the Double Dragon Lords, an Omni Negate and Floodgate off of Herald of the Arclight, 2 bounces off of the Ensemble Robin when your opponent special summons, and a non-targeting banish plus a Fraktall follow-up off of the Revolt. So if you've been paying attention, you may be wondering why I'm only saying that there's a Fraktall for the follow-up when I did earlier say that you'd actually get 2 cards for follow-up. Well, it's very simple. So obviously, typically you're not going to have this Ensemble in the end board, it's just for the very good situations. But basically, it has to do with the Double Dragon Lords. So when you activate your Tri-Brigade Revolt, I'm going to actually pretend that I use the Arclight first as my Omni Negate to get more room on board. But when you activate your Tri-Brigade Revolt, you're going to special a bunch of things from your Banished, of course. I'm going to just summon a bunch of random things. Remember that this is a goof I made in my first combo tutorial. I forgot that the Tri-Brigades don't count as special summoning them properly, and so this Shuriken is not summoned properly. You cannot summon it back. But you are going to summon 4 things, using all 4 of them to go into your Shuriken, and then, you know, Nervall Surge, Shuriken Banish, whatever. You're going to get your Fraktall from deck. That's going to give you an access code for easy follow-up. However, you actually can get even more follow-up if you held your Double Dragon Lords, because you can use the Shuriken effect and the Revolt and stuff beforehand, and then save your Double Dragon Lords for afterwards, because then you can use the Double Dragon Lords, sending the Shuriken to bounce something, and then activating the effect of Shuriken, which can add something really strong like a Barrel Canary from the deck to the hand, giving you not only a guaranteed access code follow-up off of just the Fraktall, but also a Zeus follow-up, which is really good in case your opponent has broken your board, because keep in mind, Double Dragon Lords actually sends for cost. So say you get hit by something like Dark Ruler, well, you can actually still Revolt for not only a free disruption, but you can also still go for the Shuriken and then use the Double Dragon Lord, sending for cost. The effect will fizzle, but the Shuriken will still add to hand the Barrel Canary, so that next turn after, say, wiping your entire board, you can still normal summon your Fraktall, using its effect banishing 3, baiting out any negates your opponent may have, and then using the Barrel Canary to special a bird from your graveyard, and then climb up into your Zeus plays undisturbed. So one final thing I am going to show you guys is how to play around certain hand traps, or at least through them I should say, and by that I mean Imperm on your Nervall. So this is literally the strongest spot that your opponent can hit you at with something like an Imperm, because you lose all of your resources in graveyard when you do it, And so you're basically going to think that you have no way to play around it. However, one of the things you can know about this deck is that you can always fall back if your combo gets interrupted on an Apo Revolt. So yes, it is a very basic Tri-Brigade end board to have Apo for like 2 or 3 and then a Revolt, but it is still very strong nonetheless. And so we are going to attempt to go into that by using our Farragut and our Nervall after our Nervall was Imperm. We can actually get more than an Apo Revolt. I should probably have mentioned that, but that is going to be like the main end goal at the bare minimum. But we are going to use the Farragut and the Nervall to hard make our Bearbrum, putting it over here. And we can, of course, use the effect of Nervall, optionally using the effect of Farragut as well, to add our Tri-Brigade kit. You can, of course, add Karis if you actually have BBW extenders in hand, which I'm just pretending that I only have hand traps, but if you do have BBW extenders, it's probably better to add Karis. So now we are going to normal summon our Tri-Brigade kit, activating the effect to banish the Farragut and the Nervall to summon our double Dragon Lords. And if you have no cards left in hand, say that they're things you just either really want to keep, or that you've already used, like, you know, Called By, or maybe you got Ashed on, like, your Fraktall, so you had to use a Foolish and everything, then you'd honestly just use these 3 to go into Apo here, and then use the last card in your hand to get your Revolt. But if you do still have 3 cards in hand, you can activate the effect of Bearbrum, pitching 2 random cards, it doesn't really matter, targeting preferably your Cobalt Sparrow or your Celestine, whichever one that you had, to special summon it to your field, and then using your kit, Bearbrum, and Cobalt for your 3 material Appaloosa. Of course, activating the effect of Bearbrum to add your Revolt and put the last card in your hand on the bottom of the deck. And so you successfully played through Imperm on your Nervall, which is one of the strongest hand traps your opponent can use, and managed to end on 3 materials on an Appaloosa, a double Dragon Lords, and a Revolt, for 5 disruptions and a follow-up Fraktall and Barrel Canary. Well guys, I do think that's going to have to do it for the combo tutorials, so I know it was a bit sloppy and a bit rushed. It is kind of like awkward right now in my living situation. There's just a bunch of stuff going on, but I tried to get the video out because I know people have been really wanting to see it. So I do hope that those of you that have been asking in my comments in the under the deck profile are at least somewhat satisfied knowing how to do the combos, even if again it was a bit like hasty. I didn't really explain as much as I would like to, but I do hope that you can make use out of these combos, especially if you are using a list similar to mine, which you should let me know down in the comments below if you have taken inspiration or used my list. I always love hearing about that. It's always super fun and cool to see. Because with that out of the way, that's going to do it for the video. If you liked it, please sure to leave a like, as I'll split this video and the channel into YouTube recommended. And if you liked it and you want to see more content like this, if you want to see more combo tutorial videos on their own standalone from the deck profiles, go ahead and let me know. Then perhaps consider subscribing, because we finally hit 1,500 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I woke up to that and it was awesome. And we're going to try and push for 2,000 by the end of the year. Of course, subscribing supports the channel more than anything else, and it's absolutely free. But once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.